Welcome back, everyone, to part two of episode 5 of Coach's Corner. I'm Coach Joshola, and in part 2, we are going to be looking at now bad decisions and why we say that they are bad decisions. So, without further delay, let's jump into our video and see what we can learn. So here is our first bad decision. We see as we look onto the field, our teammate, he's just hit the ball upfield. We're looking for a possible pass, trying to be patient. So we're going to roll the replay and see what happens here. This ball bounces really nicely in the corner. It's flying up. It's playing really, really high. As we can see, every single person on the field has already jumped. We're the only one who hasn't jumped. Now we're about to, but what does that mean? Well, if everybody else has jumped before us, we're not going to get to that ball. And really, this isn't a very good pass. It'd be very hard to score this. And if we hit it anyways and we don't score it, it's just going to get past the other team. So we go up here, we jump for this ball. So that's a big mistake. Unfortunately, we can see because everyone committed for it, if we would have played patiently and just stayed on the ground, we would have been able to probably scoop this ball up, maybe even get a shot, but at least maintain possession of this ball. So just in a quick run, that was our first bad mistake that we made. We don't need to challenge there. We should have just been a little bit more patient. All right, here's our second very questionable decision. We're pushing up their field. Our teammates got some good pressure going. He's looking for possibly a pass or a shot. I like what you're doing here. You're going for that demo on fracture just so he can't get in the way. And if we can get him out of the play, then we can just take our time with this. So we go for that demo. We don't quite get it, which is fine. We get a nice bump. And then the ball, poor shot by our teammate, unfortunately. But after that, we just need to leave. We need to leave this play. Our teammate has committed. He's deep. We are now the last man back. But instead of rotating out, we backflip at this ball. We fully commit to as the last man back. And luckily, we don't get punished here because the ball takes a really, really fortunate bounce. But if that ball just hit a little bit higher, it would have bounced out into field and resulted in a goal. So don't commit that deep as the last man back when we know our teammate already has. So that's our second questionable decision. Here's our third bad decision that we're going to look at, and unfortunately this one's going to result in a goal for the other team. So we can see our teammate, he's up there in the corner with the other team. He's kind of having a struggle against them right now, deep in their territory. He's kind of flailing at the ball, which is unfortunate, but we're going to let him do that. So we can watch him here. He kind of backs up. He shouldn't be doing this. We're being really patient for now, which is a good decision. He backflips at the ball, pops it up high, and then right here, I would choose to leave. Because again, you're the last man back on the field. And where our teammate is, there's no real pass that we can make to our teammate that he's going to be able to get. So a pass here isn't a good option. So we have to beat both of those defenders, or really us committing is a bad choice. Likely our teammate is at a boost as well because he's been flopping around in that corner for so long. So see what we do. We kind of go in, and that's exactly what we do. We end up just kind of hitting the ball with a pass, but we know our teammate cannot get a pass. So we want to be careful of that. Knowing when our teammates have boosts, knowing when they don't, when they're capable of getting a pass. Because if our teammate isn't there, then we're just passing it to the other team. And so that's exactly what happens. He hits a nice pass downfield, passes it right back. Actually, a really nice play by the blue team there. So be careful. Again, don't commit as that last man back, and don't pass when we know our teammate can't take a pass. Okay, so here's number 4. We saw a bit of this from another clip that we watched in part 1. So we're going back in on a play here. Again, we're the last man back, but we rush in on the ball and we try to get a challenge, and we get beat. So that's just pretty simple, not a good decision to make. So that's something I guess we've kind of seen in, I believe, 3 out of 4 of our bad decisions so far, committing as the last man. So that's something we want to keep in mind, be really careful of. Luckily, on a lot of these last man commits that we make, the other team gets really unlucky or plays it really badly as a team, or else we should be getting punished a lot more. And if you don't find your ranking up, or when you get higher ranked that you're losing games, this is probably one of the main reasons. So just watch out for that. Try to correct that. Be really careful. Be patient. Don't commit as that last man back. Okay, here's our last one that we're going to look at. Now, this one might seem a bit odd or obscure or nitpicky maybe, but it was enough of a thing that as I was watching the replay for the very first time, it immediately caught my attention and I found it just a little bit off, and it actually too caught my attention because it's something that I've seen a lot of players recently, players that we play with, and Rocket Lads doing, and that's and even high level players, not just low level players, keeping their ball cam off for really long extended periods of time when it shouldn't be. It should be just a quick on off, maybe to gather information on something. So we're going to see that here. So we're rotating back mid. Just take note. We know where our teammate is. We know he's over here. We know he's not back in goal, so we don't need to survey that. We know that the other team hasn't been down the field for a while, so we also know our booster there. So I don't know what information exactly we're going to be trying to gather here. So if we jump back into the replay, we see that as we're rotating back, for some reason we turn our ball cam off right here. And if we just jump back again and run this again, right here, like, I want to know what that blue player, Fracture, who just came across the screen, is about to do. Whether he's going to hit the ball, how hard he's going to hit the ball, if he's going to mess up, and we should immediately be cutting and turning on this. But because we're out of ball cam for so long, you're just seeing it now. We could have seen that and had that information sooner. And now we turn it off again as we go back towards goal. So it was just a little bit confusing. So watch that, and for anyone else who's watching this video, try to be careful for how long you're playing without ball cam while you're going for boosts or you're rotating positions. Ball cam should really only be turned off when you're dribbling, and maybe other, couple mechanical plays that you do, or just to gather information really quick. But those should be on off, like really fast flicks of the cam. So just be careful with that too. So let's sum up what we learned about our bad decisions. There wasn't really one key bad decision that we just kept making over and over again. It just varied. And really twos, as compared to threes, it's a lot harder to consistently make good decisions because we have to make even more of them. And it's less about just booming that ball away. Usually that's the decision in threes. Just hit the ball and hit it hard. So in twos, maybe something that we could take away and focus on is be careful about committing as the last man. That can cause goals to happen immediately. And also be careful to note where our teammates are so that we're not just putting in passes that we know our teammate won't necessarily be able to get. Overall, you made quite good decisions. So just keep thinking about that. Try to play patiently and make good decisions while being decisive at the same time. So now we're going to talk about how to be a better teammate. I think this segment is really good because sometimes when we play with people, we can not see our own mistakes and just think, oh man, my teammate, he's awful, he's terrible. But when we stop and see, we do the same things. And so it can help us to not blame our teammates as much. It can help us to be less salty then when we're in gameplay. We'll understand that we both make mistakes, and that's only going to help us win more games. So I hope that's what we can take away from this. Not that we're just playing badly, but that it happens on both sides of the ball. So let's get into it. All right, so here's the first clip we're going to look at, and I think it's important to realize that as we rank up more, our teammates are going to become more and more reliable, more and more trustworthy, to the point where we won't really be able to just carry and get wins or play without trusting them that in order to get wins at a higher rank, which I feel like you're pretty close to. We'll have to do that. We'll have to look for ways to really enable our teammates and support them, and hopefully they do the same for us. So we're going to see a good example of that in this first replay of an opportunity to have a pass, and how a pass would have been a lot better choice than maybe the shot we were thinking about. So let's roll it here just a little bit. So we see it's good to stop it right here. Fracture, he's going out this way. He's rotating into that back corner. He may be cutting and turning, but not likely based on his position. If we just watch a little bit further, yeah, he's pretty far out of it. And so we got this other teammate back here. He's on his own. Our teammate's probably pushing up mid with us. He should have that other blue player beat based on where we saw him rotate. So since we're in a position where we're in a 2-on-1, this is a situation where a pass can make sense because he's going to be in a bad position, especially based on our touch that we're about to make here. We get a nice chip, so we know that the other guy, he's not going to be able to get up and challenge us properly. So if we can get to the ball first, and we can put it off the back wall, that's a really awkward position to put the other blue teammate who's back. So let's see what we choose to do. We go for it here, but then all of a sudden we just stop. We have 22 more boost, and we could get to this ball and we could get a pass. But based on what's happened, I figure we're thinking maybe we were thinking we could try to fake him. That's the best thing I can think we were trying to do here. But unfortunately, we get beat to the ball because we hesitate to use our boost. We didn't even end up using it all. And if we would have been able to get a pass off the backboard there, it would have been really good for our teammate. He probably would have got a free shot at the goal. Now, because we hesitated, didn't do the pass, we get beat. Now we're back on the back wall, and our teammate, he's all by himself. Now he's in a 2v1 because we missed the pass. That's the risk reward of pass. If we don't get a good pass or we miss a shot, it's going to put our teammate in a really bad position. So it would have been really good to get that second touch there and then rotate as fast as possible to allow our teammate. So we could have just supported there, made a better decision to enable our teammate. All right, we're going to take a look at a second way where we could support our teammates, be a better teammate. So in this replay, we can see that the ball has just been boomed down the field and towards the orange end. We see the blue team pressuring up on our left side. So we're rotating back here. So as soon as we land here, we make a cut. So if we jump out here and we get it into fly cam, let's see. So we're cutting across the field. They're both over there on that side, but we, as we can see, have very much left our teammate in a 2v1 here. Instead of rotating back immediately when we saw that boom come in and going middle and allowing our teammate to do what he's doing and rotate out this way, we've made the most aggressive play that we can make. And really, we're not in a position to make that much of an aggressive play. And we've gone over inside to get this boost instead. We could have even maybe rotated, even though it would be against rotation, back into this corner and got this boost. And that would even have supported our teammate more. So we've chosen the option that supports our teammate the least. And when we stop and think about it, all that Fraction has to do here is get a challenge on this ball. And if this ball bounces into this wall at all, or off of this wall this way at all, it's going to come back across the field. And that's going to put Infern over here in a really good position to get a shot. So we just haven't made the best decision here to support our teammate. We've left him in a 2v1. Unfortunately, Fracture for the blue team misses, but again, we could have really got punished for our decision to leave our teammate in a 2v1. So try not to do that. Again, don't go for those boosts. Know when you need it. We could have rotated mid and got a good chunk of boost and been okay, and even ended up getting that back corner boost, which we can still see is still there. Our teammate Juicy has just put the ball over into the right-hand corner, and because of how he's hit it and how he's landed, his momentum is going to carry him off into this direction, no matter what. So really, we should understand that this is his ball. If we go over into this corner, we're just going to be double committing with him. He can't help but go over there. And then we'll have nobody on our team who's gone mid. So really the play here is to let him carry his momentum over there so he can grab the boost and continue to play this ball. And we should just be supporting by going mid, supporting the best we can. So we're going to see what we do here. We rotate across goal. This is exactly what happens. He goes, he gets the boost. He has lots of space. There's no blue guy around. He's going to just pick this ball up and go up the field, and we're going to support him. But no, we cut over in front of him, and we try to take his ball. That's not our ball. It's his for sure. So he gets bumped, and because that loses a lot of momentum, and he's not able to do much with it. So just try to take note of. I think that's something that a lot of, and we only saw this once, so I'm not saying this is a big thing or a thing you do often, but in a lot of games, we failed to recognize that after our teammate has hit the ball, where his momentum is going to carry him. And because of that, it should still be their ball. They can't help but land there and be in the position to follow the play. And a lot of times teammates will come up and think that they should be there now, and they'll try to take that ball, and it just ends up in a double commit or breaking the play. So just note that. That's one way we can support our teammates better, taking note where their momentum is going to carry them after they've passed or shot, and just playing accordingly. So what did we learn? Well, hopefully the thing that I want everyone to take away from this is that we all make mistakes. Sometimes we cut off our teammates, sometimes we don't properly support them and put them in a 2v1, or we don't pass when we actually should have passed. So we all do those things. So hopefully that will help teach us not to blame our teammates too much in game, but to relax and just do our best to support one another. And if we do, we're going to get more wins in our games. Okay, so that about wraps up part 2 of episode 5. Stay tuned for part 3. This is where we're going to look at stuff you did good. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm sure you are too. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.